Apex predators, those species at the top of their food chains with few or no natural enemies, play an integral role in maintaining the balance and health of ecosystems. These creatures, such as wolves, lions, sharks, and eagles, exert significant control over the populations of prey species, which in turn influences the vegetation and landscapes in which they all live. This cascading effect, often referred to as a trophic cascade, creates stability and diversity in ecosystems. Let's explore how apex predators contribute to ecosystem balance through their roles in controlling herbivore and prey populations, fostering biodiversity, shaping habitats, and supporting evolutionary processes. Chapter 1. Population control and prey management. One of the most apparent roles of apex predators is their ability to regulate prey populations. By keeping herbivores and smaller predators in check, apex predators prevent these species from overpopulating and exhausting the vegetation and resources they rely on. For instance, wolves in North America's Yellowstone National Park keep elk populations under control. Before wolves were reintroduced to Yellowstone, elk populations skyrocketed, which led to overgrazing and degraded plant life along riverbanks. Once wolves returned, the elk numbers stabilized, allowing vegetation to recover and flourish. This predatory regulation promotes what is known as top-down control of ecosystems. Without this control, ecosystems may experience an imbalance that could lead to the extinction of certain plant species and a collapse of the food chain at all levels. In aquatic systems, for example, sharks play a similar role. As apex predators, they control populations of fish species and prevent herbivorous fish from overgrazing on algae and seagrass, allowing the marine ecosystem to stay balanced and productive. Chapter 2. The trophic cascade effect. The influence of apex predators often extends beyond their immediate prey through a process known as a trophic cascade. When an apex predator limits the density and behavior of its prey, it indirectly affects organisms at lower trophic levels. This cascade can lead to increased biodiversity and healthier ecosystems. In Yellowstone, for instance, the presence of wolves not only controlled elk populations, but also influenced where elk chose to feed. Elk began to avoid river valleys and open plains, fearing wolf predation, which allowed aspen and willow trees in those areas to grow back. These plants, in turn, provided habitats for beavers and other small animals, creating a ripple effect of biodiversity that spread throughout the park. Beavers, for example, create dams that create wetlands, further enriching the ecosystem by offering habitats to fish, amphibians, and birds. Thus, the trophic cascade sparked by the presence of wolves influenced plant growth, animal behavior, and water resources, demonstrating how apex predators influence cascades down multiple layers of an ecosystem. Chapter 3. Shaping habitat and landscape. Apex predators also play a role in shaping landscapes through their effect on prey behavior. This phenomenon, often called the landscape of fear, describes how prey animals alter their habits and foraging patterns based on the presence of predators. By changing where and how long prey species graze, predators have a significant impact on the structure and diversity of habitats. In African savannas, lions and cheetahs affect where herbivores like zebras, gazelles, and antelopes choose to graze. These herbivores avoid open plains where they are vulnerable to predator attacks, allowing plants in these regions to regenerate. Similarly, in North American forests, the presence of mountain lions limits deer grazing in certain areas, promoting forest regeneration and enhancing biodiversity. As plants grow back, they provide shelter, food, and breeding grounds for various smaller animals and birds, fostering a balanced and thriving ecosystem. In the absence of apex predators, herbivores tend to overgraze and degrade the environment, leading to erosion, loss of plant species, and reduction in habitats for smaller species. This unchecked foraging can turn once lush landscapes into barren land, highlighting the critical role that apex predators play in maintaining habitat structure. Chapter 4. Promoting biodiversity and ecosystem. Health apex predators are key players in promoting biodiversity, which is essential for ecosystem resilience and stability. By preying on specific species, apex predators prevent any single species from becoming overly dominant, which allows a variety of organisms to coexist within an ecosystem. For example, In areas where apex predators, such as tigers and leopards, thrive, they regulate populations of smaller predators like jackals and foxes. This control helps to create a balanced food web where multiple species of plants, herbivores, and smaller predators can flourish, leading to a greater diversity of life. In marine environments, killer whales maintain the balance by preying on sea lions and seals, which in turn affects fish populations. If killer whales are removed from the ecosystem, sea lions and seals could potentially overpopulate, leading to a decrease in fish populations that are also vital for human consumption. Thus, biodiversity in both land and marine ecosystems is heavily influenced by the presence of apex predators, who help regulate species populations and interactions across the food chain. Preventing disease outbreaks. Another often overlooked benefit of apex predators is their role in controlling the spread of diseases. By preying on the sick, weak, or injured individuals in a population, apex predators naturally cull those that are more susceptible to disease. This behavior prevents diseases from spreading through large groups of animals and can reduce the chances of cross-species infection. For instance, wolves often prey on weaker or diseased deer, which helps maintain healthier deer populations. In the absence of wolves, deer herds can grow rapidly, leading to disease outbreaks that can decimate the population and affect other species. Predators, therefore, contribute to the overall health of their prey populations, reducing the likelihood of epidemic diseases and enhancing the genetic health of the prey population by eliminating weaker individuals. In marine ecosystems, sharks often prey on weaker or injured fish, performing a similar role. As apex predators, they help control disease outbreaks that could otherwise disrupt the entire ecosystem. By preventing the spread of illness, apex predators promote a healthy and resilient ecosystem that can adapt more easily to environmental changes. 6. Supporting evolutionary processes. Apex predators also drive evolutionary changes in prey species. Their presence exerts selective pressure that promotes the survival of certain traits, such as speed, camouflage, and group coordination, within prey populations. Over time, prey species evolve to become faster, more vigilant, or better camouflaged as they adapt to predator pressure, leading to a coevolutionary relationship. For example, cheetahs and antelopes have evolved together over millions of years, each species driving the other to adapt and survive. Antelopes have become swifter and more agile to evade cheetahs, while cheetahs have evolved to become one of the fastest animals on land to catch their prey. This evolutionary arms race leads to a more dynamic and adaptable ecosystem, where species are continually evolving to survive and thrive in the face of predation. In aquatic environments, similar evolutionary processes are seen. Predatory fish exert pressure on their prey to adapt better defense mechanisms or escape tactics, leading to increased diversity within species and contributing to the richness of the ecosystem. Apex predators, therefore, contribute to the evolutionary diversity and adaptability of ecosystems. 7. Resilience in the face of environmental changes. Apex predators increase ecosystem resilience by promoting biodiversity, healthy populations, and stable interactions among species. A resilient ecosystem can better withstand and recover from natural disasters, climate change, and other environmental disturbances. Ecosystems with intact predator populations have been observed to recover more rapidly from events like fires, floods, and hurricanes than ecosystems where predators have been removed. In coral reef ecosystems, for example, the presence of predatory fish helps maintain the health of coral reefs by controlling algae-eating fish populations. This balance is crucial because excessive algae growth can smother coral reefs, which are already vulnerable to temperature changes and bleaching events. By maintaining a healthy, balanced ecosystem, apex predators help support resilience against disturbances, allowing ecosystems to recover and thrive. 8. The ripple effects of apex predator decline. The decline or removal of apex predators from an ecosystem can have dramatic and far-reaching effects, leading to a phenomenon called ecological release. When apex predators are removed, prey species populations often explode, causing habitat degradation, overconsumption of resources, and imbalances that affect all levels of the ecosystem. In the case of the American Great Plains, the removal of wolves led to an overpopulation of deer and elk, which overgrazed the land, reducing plant diversity and leading to soil erosion. Similarly, the decline of shark populations in the ocean has led to an increase in mesopredators, middle-ranking predators, which has caused declines in fish populations critical to coral reef health. The reintroduction of apex predators, however, can restore ecosystems in a process known as rewilding. For example, the reintroduction of wolves to Yellowstone is considered one of the most successful ecological restoration efforts. By bringing apex predators back into the ecosystem, humans can restore the natural balance and reverse some of the damage caused by their absence. Conclusion: apex predators are indispensable to ecosystems due to their influence on population control, habitat structure, biodiversity, disease prevention, and resilience. Their presence creates a balance that supports life across trophic levels, from plants to herbivores to smaller predators, and fosters an environment where biodiversity can flourish. As keystone species, apex predators' impact reverberates throughout the ecosystem, showing that the health of an ecosystem is often only as strong as its top predators. Without apex predators, ecosystems face degradation, biodiversity loss, and instability, which can have ripple effects on global biodiversity and even human health. Recognizing the vital roles of these predators and protecting them is not only about conserving individual species, but also about safeguarding the intricate, interwoven fabric of life on Earth. For a sustainable and resilient planet, apex predators must be preserved and valued as pillars of ecological stability.